Hole watcher, interview, question and answer. Question 1. What is confined space? Any space having a limited means of access or egress, which subject to the hazards like deficiency of oxygen, toxic or flammable gases or substances, dust etc. Question 2. In what circumstances a confined space work permit can be issued? If properly ventilated, gas test readings are satisfactory, properly barricaded and warning signs are posted, trained standby man is present with log sheet, sufficient lighting and low voltage electricity, 24 volts to 110 volts, proper means of communication, locked and tagged out if necessary, lifeline and man retrieval system if necessary, etc. Question 3. Who is a confined space attendant? He is one who is aware of the confined space hazards and knows how to react if anything goes wrong, able to maintain confined space entry log sheet etc. Question 4. What are the hazards in a confined space? Oxygen deficiency or enrichment, presence of toxic or flammable gases, chemical hazard, fire hazard, fall of materials, fall hazards, electrocution, dust, sound, heat or cold. Caught in between moving parts of equipments, engulfment, etc. Question 5. What are the precautions to be taken for confined space, PTW, permit to work? Confined space entry training, gas testing before starting the work by authorized gas tester, appointment of hole watcher with entry-exit log sheet, regular communication with the entrance, proper ventilation, proper illumination, with 24-volt lamp, proper access and egress, knowledge of emergency rescue plant. Question 6. What are the duties of a confined space attendant? He is responsible for the safety of entrance, should be present whenever people are working in confined space, maintain update entry log sheet, maintain continuous communication with entrance, and monitor conditions in the confined space to ensure a safe working atmosphere, prevent unauthorized entry of personnel, initiate alarm for help if needed, evacuate the entrance if conditions are not satisfying, or, in case of any general evacuation is initiated, contact rescue personnel if necessary, etc. Question 7. Give some examples of a confined space, pipes, vessels, tanks, boilers and tubes areas, silos, trenches and excavations deeper than 4 feet, sludge pits, ductworks, etc. Question 8. Name one hazardous job in a confined space, welding, grinding, chemical cleaning, use of gas cutting set, erection of materials. Question 9. What are the different classes of confined spaces, permit spaces, alternate entry spaces, hazards eliminated spaces? Question 10. What are the attendant's responsibilities, other than assisting and protecting the entrant? Protecting the public is the most important task for the attendant. The attendant must not be given duties which could interfere with either of these responsibilities. If the attendant cannot accomplish both simultaneously, extra attendants or barricades must be established before the entry can continue. The attendant must also be able to effectively operate the emergency retrieval system. In an emergency, the attendant must be able to make timely and accurate decisions to ensure emergency procedures are effective. Question 11. What if the gas detectors alarm while I am in the space? Leave the confined space immediately. Seconds may count. Notify your supervisor. The source for the abnormal conditions must be identified and controlled. Additional precautions will be necessary. Question 12. What if the person in the space is incapacitated and needs immediate rescue? What should I do first? Do not enter the space yourself. Call for help. Use your two-way communication to get assistance. Call the emergency no. Relay your location, the nature of the incident, and emphasize the incident has occurred in a confined space. Once help has been called, you may use the retrieval system to get your partner out of the space, only if the rescue is a simple vertical withdrawal. Do not attempt a non-entry rescue, if your partner might be dragged around a corner or between obstacles, which could entangle or injure him and her. Do not move your partner if you suspect a head or neck injury may have occurred. Question 13. What about bringing chemicals into confined spaces? Be sure that this additional potential hazard is controlled. Chemicals can add additional atmospheric hazards in a confined space, which must be monitored. Chemicals may contribute additional hazards, fire risk, contact hazards, etc., which must be controlled. Supplemental ventilation and other controls may be needed. Be sure that a competent confined space supervisor and safety professional have reviewed the design of the additional precautions. These special requirements will be added to the confined space inventory for future reference. Question 14. What control measures are necessary in confined space? Ensure there is space for air to enter to avoid suffocation. Have a space for emergency exit. In case of situations which might require leaving the space, within the shortest time possible. Question 15. Which of the following is included but not limited to confined spaces? A. Vessels. B. Tanks. C. Vaults. D. Trenches. E. All of the above. Answer. E. All of the above. Question 16. Entering a permit space can prove fatal for an employee when the oxygen level is (8 below 19.5%, B above 23.5%, C below 20%, D both A and B. Answer. D. Both A and B. Question 17. Any employee can enter a permit-required confined space to carry out necessary repairs or maintenance. A. True. B. False. Answer. B. False. Question 18. Which of the following is not a confined space that requires a permit? A. A space that contains a hazardous or potentially hazardous atmosphere. B. A space that contains a material that can smother someone who enters. C. A space that contains a material which can engulf someone who enters. D. A space that contains walls that converge inward or floors that slope downwards and taper into a smaller area which could trap or asphyxiate an entrant. E. A space that is designed for continuous employee occupancy. Answer. E. A space that is designed for continuous employee occupancy. Question 19. What steps must an employer take after determining that the workplace has permit-required confined entry areas? A. Develop and implement a written program. B. Verbally inform all supervisors in the affected areas of the requirement of OSHA's program. C. Notify those in charge of medical files for affected employees. D. All of the above. Answer: A. Develop and implement a written program. Question 20. Which of the following must be tested first before an employee enters a confined space? A. Oxygen content. B. Flammable gases and vapors. C. Potential toxic air contaminants. Answer: A. Oxygen content. Question 21. What does the acronym IDLH stand for with respect to confined spaces? A. Instant death lurks here. B. Immediately dangerous to life or health. C. Integrated and differentiated level of hazards. D. Inflammability detection level hazard. Answer: B. Immediately dangerous to life or health. Question 22. Atmospheres that contain a flammable component above what % of its lower explosive limit, LEL, are considered hazardous for confined space entry? A. 10%, B. 7.5%, C. 5%, D. 2.5%. Question 23. When you see this sign with the word danger and this image, you should understand that A. There's a man hiding in a cardboard box and he's coming to get you. B. You are entering an area with confined space. C. This is an entry to air duct. Air pressure may suck you further inside. D. None of the above. Answer: B. You are entering an area with confined space. Question 24. OSHA mandates that an entry supervisor sign the entry permit before an employee begins work in a confined space. A. True. B. False. Answer: A. True. Question 25. An attendant can enter a permit space to help the employee inside the confined space without being relieved by another authorized attendant. A. True. B. False. Answer: B. False.